You're watching the English newscast on Future Television. I'm Minna Tamim, and these are today's top stories. At least 36 are killed and nearly 100 wounded in explosions in central and southeast areas of the Iraqi capital of Baghdad. Speaking at an international security conference in Munich, Prime Minister Tamam Salam says the large number of Syrian refugees in Lebanon has led to an increase in crime due to unemployment and poverty. And thousands of people protest against Yemen's Shia Houthi group's decision to dissolve parliament and create a presidential council to fill a power vacuum. At least 17 people have been killed in explosions in the Iraqi capital, Baghdad, just hours before the city's long-time curfew was set to come to an end. In the first incident, police said a suicide bomber detonated explosives inside a restaurant in the predominantly Shia neighborhood of Jadida, killing at least 23 people and wounding 49 more. In the second incident, a suicide bomber detonated explosives in a busy commercial street in Al-Shurja market, killing 13 and injuring another 45. There was no immediate claim of responsibility for the attacks, but suicide bombings are a tactic often used by the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant. The attacks come ahead of Prime Minister Haidar al-Abadi's decision to lift Baghdad's long-time curfew beginning at midnight on Sunday. Lifting the curfew is a major change to a long-standing policy aimed at curbing violence in the capital by limiting movement at night. Abadi reportedly ordered the move earlier this week to return normal life as much as possible, despite the existence of a state of war. The U.S. State Department says it cannot verify the claim by the Islamic State that an American female hostage has been killed by a Jordanian airstrike in Syria. Asked by a reporter by the ISIS claim, spokeswoman Marie Harf, however, said the U.S. government was putting every effort behind finding any Americans being held overseas. Islamic State extremists claimed that an American woman held hostage by the group was killed on Friday in a Jordanian airstrike in northern Syria in the militant stronghold of Raqqa. The woman was identified as Hela Jean Mueller, an American who went to Syria to do aid work, but there was no independent verification of the militants' claim. If the death is confirmed, she would be the fourth American to die while being held by Islamic State militants. Prime Minister Tamam Salam has noted that the presence of refugees in a country of such fragile economic and political scenes as Lebanon is a ticking time bomb. He said that the large number of Syrian refugees in Lebanon has led to an increase in crime due to unemployment and poverty. Speaking at the 51st Munich Security Conference, the Premier called for immediate action to confront the deteriorating security situation in the country. Salam kicked off his trip to Germany with talks with Bahraini Foreign Minister Khalid bin Ahmed Al Khalifa and Iranian Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif, focusing on the recent developments in Lebanon and in the region. A Lebanese professor at the University of South Carolina School of Public Health was reportedly killed in an apparent murder-suicide on Thursday. Several dailies identified the Lebanese victim as Raja Fayyad, 45, head of the Division of Applied Physiology and an expert in colon cancer at the university's Arnold School of Public Health. Authorities said Fayyad and a woman were the only people in an office when they were killed in the murder-suicide. Officials say the two people were killed were in a long-term relationship. South Carolina's The State newspaper quoted neighbors as saying that Fayyad moved into the neighborhood in 2009. Earlier yesterday, the country coroner said Fayyad had received multiple gunshot wounds to the upper body. 3 soldiers were wounded overnight while pursuing a robbery gang in the northern region of Akkad. The army announced in a statement that a shootout broke out when the troops attempted to thwart an armed robbery in the area of Sada'a in Fnaidik in the north. The members of the gang opened fire at a military patrol, prompting the troops to fire back. 3 soldiers were consequently injured. A member of the gang, Basil Ziad Mustafa, was killed in the exchange, and 2 other members were also wounded. They were identified as Muhammad Abdullah Salahuddin and Abdul Karim al-Bahrini, who was wanted for his involvement in a shooting in Harar that led to the death of a soldier. The remaining members of the gang managed to escape, and the army is currently pursuing them. The fish market in Beirut's Karantina area will be closed down for a week in order to introduce improvements at the facility. Fish Market Director General Yasser Zebian has made the announcement during a press conference. Governor of Beirut, Ziad Shbib, ordered the closure of the market on Thursday for not meeting health standards, 3 months after he gave similar instructions to shut the slaughterhouse in the same area for renovations. His order had prompted angry vendors to block the vital road outside the facility. The closure of the facility comes as part of a campaign launched by Health Minister Wael Abu Fahour in October to press for better health and food safety standards. The minister also contacted Interior Minister Nuhad al-Mashnouk to explain to him the findings at the bone-crushing factory located near the Beirut slaughterhouse, urging that it be shut down. Mashnouk had pledged to Abu Fahour to take the necessary action regarding the bone-crushing factory. And coming up next, one of the most anticipated movies of the year in a theater near you. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Thousands of people have come out to march in protest against Yemen's Shia Houthi group's decision to dissolve parliament and create a presidential council to fill a power vacuum. Protesters rallied in Taiz and the capital Sana'a after Houthis announced the formation of a security commission, including former ministers, a day after its takeover of parliament as part of a coup. Witnesses said the Houthis' declaration was followed by an explosion outside the Houthi-controlled presidential palace in Sana'a that wounded a policeman and a civilian. On Friday, the Houthis' takeover of power drew a rebuke from Washington, the United Nations, and neighboring Gulf states. The Shia group, which has controlled Sana'a since last September, said it would set up a 551-member national council to replace parliament in the violence-racked country, a key U.S. ally in the fight against al-Qaeda. German Chancellor Angela Merkel has pushed a new peace bid to end the Ukraine conflict, warning that sending weapons to government forces fighting pro-Russian rebels will not stop the bloodshed. Fresh from overnight talks in Moscow with French President François Hollande to trash out a new peace plan, Merkel said success was far from being assured, but it was essential to try. Europe has had enough of war, the Chancellor said, blaming Russia for breaching the international norms, which had preserved peace in Europe for so many years. Hollande, for his part, said the Franco-German plan was one of the last chances to stop the 10-month-old conflict that has claimed some 5,400 lives. Time is pressing to find a solution to the crisis before it turns into a major East-West confrontation, as recent gains by the Russian-backed and well-armed rebels drive calls for the West to supply weapons to Kiev. U.S. President Barack Obama says the United States must resist the urge to overreach abroad as he outlined a new national security strategy that is meant to serve as a blueprint for his final 2 years in office. U.S. National Security Advisor Susan Rice discussed the strategy at the Brookings Institution think tank in Washington, saying fundamentally it's a strategy to strengthen the foundations of America's power, political, economic, and military, and to sustain American leadership in this new century so that we can surmount the challenges of today and capture the opportunities of tomorrow.
This morning, President Obama released his 2015 National Security Strategy. Fundamentally, it's a strategy to strengthen the foundations of America's power, political, economic, and military, and to sustain American leadership in this new century so that we can surmount the challenges of today and capture the opportunities of tomorrow. But too often, what's missing here in Washington is a sense of perspective. Yes, there is a lot going on. Still, while the dangers we face may be more numerous and varied, they are not of the existential nature we confronted during World War II or during the Cold War. We cannot afford to be buffeted by alarmism and a nearly instantaneous news cycle. With this national security strategy, we stake out a much larger role for America in shaping the world, while anticipating the challenges to come. We will always act to defend our country and its people, but we aim to avoid sending many thousands of ground forces into combat in hostile lands. Fighting terrorism is a long-term struggle. There will be setbacks, and there are no one-size-fits-all solutions. We have to work across multiple lines of effort in diverse contexts to be effective.
Now for some entertainment. While most 50 Shades of Grey fans have to wait for 1 week until the film is released in theaters, dozens of devotees of the book series by E.L. James were treated to an early screening at the Ziegfeld Theater, which was attended by the cast in New York City. On the red carpet, Jamie Dornan said the passion of the fans is not lost on him. It's a relief for the cast and crew that the movie, which has had so much buzz, is finally being released.
The fans, I mean, it means so much, and this book has transcended like so many other books in terms of what it means to fans and how attached they are to these characters, you know. So we felt that we really just had to try to honour that as much as we could, but also, you know, try to make a great picture. I mean, that's essentially, want to make a great movie, but also to please all the fans, and I think we've done that, you know.
Kind of a relief. I'm really excited. It's been such a long time coming, and I'm excited for the fans to see it. I feel like they've been waiting for a long time. We've been working on it for so long that it's finally nice to just let it be. And
it's been such an amazing trip to just see this all through to this point. And I just hope that the fans love it as much as we all do. So yeah, I've got my fingers crossed.
I just, you know, just that it's realised, you know, that you know, books are so visual, right? We all read books and we all have an idea of what they're going to be like, and we're playing them out in our head and we're casting them and everything. So it's just exciting to be able to be part of the thing that, you know, we have created, our best version of what they want, you know, and that's just a really cool thing, and I'm just so excited for them to see it.
This marks the end of our bulletin for today. Now for a reminder of our top stories. At least 36 are killed and nearly 100 wounded in explosions in central and southeast areas of the Iraqi capital of Baghdad. Speaking at an international security conference in Munich, Prime Minister Tamam Slam says the large number of Syrian refugees in Lebanon has led to an increase in crime due to unemployment and poverty. And thousands of people protest against Yemen's Shia Houthi group's decision to dissolve parliament and create a presidential council to fill a power vacuum. Those are your Saturday headlines from us here at Future Television. I'm Linda Tamim, wishing you all a very nice weekend.